Hello everyone, this is Jason from Average Level Gaming, and today I will be reviewing Muck. Muck is a survival roguelike game that was released about a month ago by famous YouTuber Dani. Dani's primary reason and inspiration for the game was a single commenter that said he could not make a multiplayer survival game. However, much like how my friends told me that this review was a dumb idea, and no one would want to watch it, he decided to prove them wrong. Thus, Muck was born, an amazing, minimalist game. Although the graphics may be a turnoff at the start, Muck has a lot hidden underneath its shoddy exterior. For the record, Muck is a multiplayer-based survival game. However, this review will be based on the single-player experience of the game. The rest of the ALG crew decided to go on vacation or hang out with family for the 4th of July. Well, I have much more important things to do, like diving into the world of Muck. Let's get started. The mechanics of Muck are as simple as can be in a survival game. You gather resources, make equipment, and then fight enemies. Simple as that. Although something sounds simple, it does not mean that it is easy. You start with nothing in your inventory, and the game conveniently points you to the closest rock. This rock can then be equipped and used to break a tree for wood. The one then makes a crafting bench, which can then make proper tools to speed things up. Using the tools, you gather better resources to make better tools, and so on, for about 4 to 5 tiers of equipment. These tiers are wood, steel, mithril, adamantium, and of course, obamium. The tools help you kill the various kinds of enemies and bosses that you will meet in your adventure, and whenever you move up a tier equipment-wise, you definitely feel the power spike. The game also has a day-night cycle. The daytime is used to gather resources primarily, and is pretty calming. The only enemies that are around are either spawned by yourself through the random battle towers you find, or the ones that are just sitting in one place in packs. Both are easily avoided, and you can go on your way without a care in the world. Then, the clock strikes midnight, and you instantly have problems. Enemies are chasing you, sometimes even spawning right behind you. These aren't bad at first, but then as the nights go by, harder and harder enemies keep coming for you, and in higher numbers. It may not seem like it, but Muck is a race against the clock. You have to gather resources and equipment before the enemies outscale you. And believe me, they outscale you very, very quickly. To add another survival staple, there's a food meter which needs to be taken care of every now and then. Without food, you cannot sprint, and no one wants to play a video game at walking speed. There are tons of things to eat, such as cooked meat, apple pie, and various mushrooms. These mushrooms include the Gulpon shroom, the Ligon shroom, the Sugon shroom, and best mushroom of all, the Slurbon shroom. I have no idea what Dani is referencing with these names, but feel free to tell me in the comments below. The food itself only fills either your health bar, food bar, sprint bar, or any combination of those. There are no temporary buffs that are given from eating certain kinds of food, like in the popular survival game, Valheim, which Muck draws a lot of influence from. Lastly, there is an upgrade system similar to Risk of Rain 2. In fact, Dani quoted the game as one of the inspirations for the system. You could spend gold, which is received from killing enemies, on various chests around the map. These chests have different upgrades that vary in rarity, typically with the rare ones being more useful. These can range from simple things like a strength increase, faster movement speed, or a higher jump height, to more exotic options like randomly doing 19 times your normal damage, increased damage while falling, and of course, milk. Okay, I'm about to go over the story, that's in quotes by the way, of Muck, as well as the boss progression. Well, there is no real story. Technically speaking, even the randomly occurring bosses that appear during the nighttime of the game are somewhat optional if you are fast enough. At some point while adventuring, you'll find a ship that requires a bunch of materials to repair it. All of the materials are pretty standard except for 5 gems. You are given a map of their location, however each is guarded by, well, a guardian. A guardian is one of the randomly spawned bosses. However, the guardians that are guarding the gems are buff guardians. They have a much higher health than the standard variety, and they hit a lot harder too. However, all 5 of these guardians must be defeated before you can repair the ship. Sadly, this is the farthest that I've gotten at the time of this recording. As an average gamer, I cannot be expected to be good at games, only average. The Steam achievement for completing the game is currently only being held by 2% of players, so I still feel pretty accomplished for getting so close. Once all the buff guardians have been defeated, you can leave the island. However, there is still one final task afterwards, but you'll just have to play Muck for yourself to find out. Seriously, go play the game. It's free. So, the graphics. To the untrained eye, these graphics may look bad. However, to the average level gamer like myself, they are quite enjoyable. They do look pretty minimalist compared to other games. However, I'm willing to concede the graphics being bad if the gameplay is able to easily make up for it. In this case, it definitely does. One exception to this is the grass. I love how the grass looks. It's so simple, honestly, and I have no idea why I love it so much. However, the average gamer in me wants to become a pro at this game. So I actually turned off the grass so that I could see resources on the ground better. It sucks to do it, but I had to get good. As for the sound design, it is also pretty minimal. There isn't much background music, it's pretty light and calming. However, there is a lot of ambience to the game. There are also the player-made sounds like running, chopping wood, or swinging a sword. I honestly enjoy the sound design. It is a bit minimalist, but it does get me in the zone. In the early game, you're just able to dissociate from reality and be fully immersed into the game world. You get sucked into it, questioning, what am I even doing with my life? Do I really enjoy this game? Why am I making this review? No one's gonna watch it. Why won't my friends come play with me? Why did my girlfriend leave? And that makes 30 wood. Time to craft, baby. If you haven't noticed yet, I enjoy Muck quite a bit, so I want to leave some info out for a new player to experience on their own. However, I will indulge you with one of the boss soundtracks. Now, I want to give my personal experience with the game. Given the nature of the game, I've played it several times at this point, but this was my favorite run-through so far. Also, it gives me the opportunity to mention a few things that didn't quite fit in the script earlier. I started off near a pre-generated house, which is pretty ideal for Muck. Inside I found a wooden axe. This saves me about 2 minutes of time where I would be punching a tree with a rock. I then crafted a wooden pick and got to gathering. Although I am an average gamer, I learned that you can hit 2 objects at once for faster resource gathering. Here, I found the early game Holy Grail with 2 iron veins next to each other. After the first night passed, I created a furnace to smelt 50 iron ore. At this stage, I usually go for about 20, so I was definitely ahead. I waited for it to smelt and then created a steel helmet, boots, and pants, as well as a set of steel tools, including a sword. I was easily handling everything at this point, so I believe that I was on the run. Using 80 gold, I opened an uncommon chest and found a checkered shirt, a rare upgrade that increases my damage to resources. This was my first time getting one, and dear God, does it make everything much faster. I then started working on getting my mithril gear. Mithril gear requires fir wood and mithril ore, both easily obtainable due to my checkered shirt. I returned home with enough to make just a set of tools and a new sword. I then set out to get adamantite ore. It hasn't really been stated at this point, but before this I was getting adamantite ore around day 5, so this had to be the run. I also gathered oak wood on the way home, the next level of wood which I needed to make my new adamantite gear. On my way home, I found a common chest. However, it was anything but common. I cracked it open to find a rare upgrade, the Enforcer, an upgrade that increases my damage the faster I am moving. Although useful in combat, the true average gamer optimal usage of the item is running in a circle around an ore vein to deal increased damage. I got home at the beginning of the 4th day, smelted myself some adamantite tools, and set out for the final ore, Obamium. I was now hitting for crazy numbers, over 100 most of the time. It was insane. On the night of day 4, I was mining an Obamium vein when a boss spawned, a Guardian. I never defeated one before, but now was my time to shine. I quickly vanquished the beast, who was honestly a pushover with how prepared I was. This was the run. I returned home after gathering materials for all of day 5 and made myself mithril pants and adamantite everything else. For you observant folk, Obamium actually isn't used to make tools or armor. I really wish someone told me that beforehand. However, I didn't have time to sulk. It was time to finish Muck. I set off to the boat. Thankfully, I found a map earlier that pointed me in the correct direction. On the way there, I found another checkered shirt. I was now a resource gathering machine. I approached the boat in the middle of the night, accosted by enemies. However, they couldn't stand the pure strength and dexterity of this average level gamer. I found a chest on the boat, which pointed me in the direction of the gems I needed to escape this island. Before I head out though, it was time to get some revenge. I slaughtered the beasts left and right until the sun rose, and then I began my journey to the south, to the Ruby Crystal. On the dawn of the 7th day, I marched to victory. I was unstoppable this whole run, and I won't be finished off now. This was by far the best run I ever had, and I would not let it slip away. I approached the Ruby statue, feeling only confidence. I even grabbed some wheat for later. I was going to bake a victory apple pie. I activated the statue, and my toughest fight began. Well, I guess it was too tough. Muck is a fantastic game, and I cannot recommend it enough. Its interesting take on the survival genre is something that I hope to see explored either by Dani with additional updates, or from other developers. The game does away with the slow preparation of games like Valheim or Terraria, and says, hey, if you don't have full steel equipment by day 2, you're gonna have a bad time. I honestly believe that this new take could be good for players that are not up for a slower type of game. The ones that just want to get into the action as fast as possible. However, the daytime gathering is much like a standard survival game, and it's very relaxing, honestly. If I had to offer one criticism of Muck, it would be the RNG that is involved with the seed. Sometimes you spawn in, and there aren't even any basic trees to cut down nearby, or other times you spawn in, play for a bit, and realize there's no iron in sight. There's even a seed where you spawn next to a cave where you find the strongest weapon in the game. Although the seed issues aren't common, I think a more uniform starting area would be better for the game overall. Here's one where I spawned right next to a pack of mobs. You gotta love that. Other than that though, I pray that my friends will finally play this game with me, and that Dani decides to update the game. I honestly believe that the potential for this kind of project is insane, and I hope he capitalizes on it. Thank you for watching my game review of Muck. This is my first game review, and any feedback would be much appreciated. I've always dreamed of making my own reviews, and I hope this one entertained you as I've been entertained by other reviews over the years. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so we can get our videos flowing through the YouTube algorithm. This is Jason from Average Level Gaming, signing off.